This is FNGR, and today we're going to talk about the top 10 trolls in the Brony Fandumb. But first, we're going to talk about the difference between being a troll and being an edgelord. Let's draw from outside the fandom very quickly.
Convenienced me a bit. Well done, I'm sure your parents are proud. But, you know, life moves on, I'm perfectly fine. And you are now rendered a joke, so well done you. I do have one thing to say though to Digpex Games, and indeed any other developer that thinks this is the correct course of action. Okay, now let me clue you in. You say I am no king, and that's true. I am but a human. You are but humans. We're born, we live, we will die one day. But here's the difference between you and I. Okay? Now when people think of Jim Sterling, they think of Jim Sterling. When people think of your shitty 2-bit games, they think of Jim Sterling. You see...
Did you see that? The focus, so to speak, is on Jim Sterling. The performer is focused on himself. This is what is called an edgelord. Now we'll get back to that in a minute.
Do you get it? Do ya? The X-Files is a smart movie about space aliens, and Independence Day is a stupid movie about space aliens, and the best possible way to point out this obvious superiority was to have the paranoid conspiracy guy pee on something. Ha! Classic, and in no way as lame and awkwardly dated as the X-Files overall, since that series definitely didn't ultimately reveal itself to be a rambling clusterfuck with no idea where anything was going and absolutely doesn't not work at all, now that we're all slightly more aware that smug paranoid white guys who think the government is out to get them are in reality seldom sexy, interesting, or particularly heroic.
Now the focus is on the topic and not Bob. It's done in a satirical, biting way, which is intended to be humorous. That is a troll. I've been arguing this with cretins in the comments section why the edgelord list is a troll. It's the same reason why I don't include a number 1 spot, which for verification was the Looney Turtle, because most of that really would have been about me, which shifts away from making a joke to being a joke. A classic example of this in the fandom of someone who totally is oblivious to being the punchline. Bitch, you guessed it. Talking about how he's going to save the fandom from itself, taking everything way too serious. The mysterious Mr. Ender in every way is a vintage edgelord. I've had friends ask me, how come Toon Critic isn't in your top 10 edgelord list? And I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Toon hasn't played an edgelord in his videos since he showed up.
King for the whole fandom who got their derpy panties in a twist over the initial designs.
Wait, who said that?
Hi. Kinda let myself in. I brought the pizza you guys wanted. You know, cheese with getting hyped up from mild disappointment with the side of that actually wasn't too terrible.
Oh, hi, Toon Critic. Didn't realize the rip stretched that far.
I know, right? I didn't know it picked up total nobodies.
I'm going to clarify, Toon, if you're watching this. One might argue not being an edgelord is a good thing. For Toon in his videos to portray that archetype, he would have to make it more about him, while putting in an air of superiority and dogging pretty much everyone else. Technically, I suppose you could do it without putting yourself over, and just act like everything sucks, but I'm not sure that you'd have a product to sell to the audience at that point. I'm going to tell you something that might shock you, but did you see Silver Quill's response to Jerry P? Why do I attract these weirdos? The fact he has 2 demons on each of his shoulders, and both of these demons are quite frankly the edgiest thing you've ever seen.
Twilight comes up with the potential solution of simply altering the bats' minds to make them not want to eat the apples. And to those of you who like to squawk about her subjugating free will, this was the closest thing to a light side decision you're ever going to get.
Oh great, another jab from the internet, and he is that dude using a female OC?
Yep.
Always with the gender identity issues. Why do you keep attracting these guys?
I don't know.
So, how do you want to respond to this? How about a nice smear campaign on Twitter? Forget that. Ask your viewers to draw grotesque artwork of his OC. That's always a winner.
Silver Quill repeatedly plays the edgelord, but he's very self-aware. I'm sure if you asked him about this, he'd roll his eyes and go, well, duh. It's a gimmick one can pull off generally, and it requires the person behind it to show a level of awareness and humility, something John Enter regretfully lacks. I would like to cite MiianthroPony quickly because, well, of course I would.
I never thought that time would pass by this quickly, but looking back, they have something for me to truly appreciate. Admittedly, a lot of us have been dysfunctional, and even worse, we were given a rather bad reputation of the fandom. This was not meant to happen.
Ho, you silly knucklehead. If you think you're going to easily regain my attention after that speech of yours, you are sadly mistaken.
Remember this intro with Golden Fox? Now while this very first part made my blood boil, there's no denying that there was a serious moment to capitalize on making this funny. Example? I'm going to assume we've all seen Charlie Brown and Lucy tugging the football back and letting Charlie Brown kick at the air. This is a cruel joke, but it works and it's funny. Mapp satirically could have chose to go for the same thing yoink throughout his video. I have no doubt I'd still be pissed, but the main focus would have been a running gag, and it would have been a lot more likely that more people would have realized, oh, he's just fucking around. If you want another classic example of an edgelord being used properly, you need to look no further than TBBBAP reacting to clips of Rainbow Rocks. They look like they've been told that they're going to die and they're about to break down and cry. So if you're going to ask, has there ever been a time where it might be better to be an edgelord than a troll? I'm sure there is. Just look at Batman. Bruce Wayne is the ultimate edgelord, and the Joker is the ultimate troll. But let me ask you this, who are you really rooting for? The top 10 trolls in the Brony Fandumb. And one more thing, just to refresh your memory, if you're trolling, your main goal isn't to prove you're amazing. If you say something along the lines of, I've been in 4chan since 2006, you're unfortunately an edgelord. Trolling isn't about you, it's about the target. Number 10. Ryan Reno Mills wailing on the nuts on a clump of analysis in the community all in one shot.
Know what shipping is? I'm new to the internet. Excuse me.
Yeah, not this person. No! No!
Number 9. Josh Scorcher forcing Crown Prince to listen to Love is an Open Door again and again and again and again for hours and hours.
Magic. For an experienced animator, a completed 2-minute and 40-second video breaks down to 185 hours of work.
And then there's this asshole, who not only made her sing it, made her listen to it first. And we all know that anyone who does any kind of editing whatsoever absolutely grows to hate and despise the sound of their own voice. Number 7, Digi Bro. I saw this at the crack of dawn and forgot what day it was and fell for this hook, line, and sucker. Well, up until the Kimi Sparkle point. Number 6.
I suppose so, as far as learning to manage and work with people for efficiency and to feel people out, as it were. But because I work with so many people, it's hard for me to have some kind of relationship with just one person. And you can imagine it gets overwhelming. And sometimes people just see the business side of me because that's the nature of things. But I do know it's a pain every time we feel the need to hire new people, because then the speculation, the rumors start, and I wonder if I should just learn how to do everything myself. And
I think you guys don't understand just how meta and amusing this troll is. I remember when Moliminus stated,
"This is like KP mooning all the editors that have moved on beyond her after all these years and complained."
It's basically KP going, "Are you mad, bro?" Cloud Cuckoo Country and Silver Quill. Not too long ago, Silver Quill did a sex reading for Cloud. It's one of the most delicious hammed-up performances, and I'm only disappointed it didn't come with a side of eggs.
The question was only whether it could be achieved with her consent. In her room, Madame Azaire wept as she paced from one side to the other. She was choking with passion for him, but he frightened her. She wanted to comfort him, but also be taken by him to be
TBBBAP, the Digibro collab fakeout. Sometimes trolls don't take an obscene amount of effort.
What the fuck was that?
Unbelievable.
Okay, what?
I guess we're in for more of the same old Equestria girls.
Old
your
fucking
favorite
bullshit.
human, Applejack,
okay,
etc.
Right.
Jerry Pete. Jerry Pete actually trolled coming out as transgendered.
Then that's why. Bye! Are they gone?
No, we're still here.
Curses.
On the other hand, you could make an argument that such a thing is a very serious issue, yada yada yada, and there's something as equally as valid, which is artistic expression. It's a big moment and he's choosing to be a smartass about it. Own what you are, kids. It's words to live by. Kimi Sparkle talking about Rarity going away forever.
Mood is ruined when she runs into Rarity, who is wearing a tank top and a skirt that's really short. Rarity doesn't talk to Rainbow Dash, but can be heard with her other friends discussing boys who like her and stupid shows she watches like Pretty Little Liars. Suddenly, Rarity receives a letter from Princess Celestia informing her that she must board a train to a faraway land. And after she does, a boulder falls onto the tracks and crushes them, and all the ponies all realize that she won't be able to come home. They must adjust to life without her now.
It literally doesn't get any better than this. You just gotta imagine an insane amount of butthurt filling up 1/6 of the fandom. Tommy Oliver. Not to be outdone. Me and a lot of my peers thought Tom was being dead-faced serious with this response.
Before I begin, I'd like to make it clear that this isn't a personal attack against Kimi. After all, she's one of the premier members of the Brony analysis community, and her contributions to the thought space concerning the intricate concepts at work in Friendship is Magic are self-evident, not to mention that she is the one that got me into analyzing My Little Pony in the first place.
These were simpler times in the fandom, when rivalries were more goofy, and we could all get along. Or maybe I'm just trolling you right now. Who knows?